investigating a case of murder and attempted murder following a shooting in Sandton that left 3 people dead.
It is really a traumatic situation here.
It has only been 3 months since 2025 started, but there has been an issue after an issue after another issue. Last night there was a shooting and 7 people were affected by that whole shooting. 3 of them unfortunately died, including one who is a prominent businessman and an ex partner to the famous Londi London. Now the reason for that shooting is on the article that we are about to get into, and we are just surprised that in Sandton there is a shootout at a club. Seems like a lot of things have been happening in South African clubs very recently. So the article that I have here, it mentions that one of the victims, like the people who were killed, is Pamandla Mabonga. And apparently he's a very prominent businessman, and reports claim that this is not the first shootout that he was involved in, and they also surfaced a video where we saw Londi London while holding a very big I think it was an AK-47, but I'm just not I don't have a lot of knowledge on guns and stuff, but she was holding a very big gun, so which simply means that he is about that whole lifestyle of shooting and everything, and also he's a big baller, so you understand. So the article that we have here reads that prominent businessman Spamandla Mabonga, who was previously linked to the Real Housewives of Durban, Londi London, was killed in a shootout at Solo in Sandton after attempting to enter the restaurant armed. Now we know that restaurants usually have a policy against guns. They have a policy about being armed. It doesn't matter who you are, right? So apparently he was trying to oppose that whole situation of being denied entry while being armed, because entering a restaurant, that's like public area. There are a lot of people entering a restaurant where drunk people are. It's a problem, because what's gonna happen if somebody steps on you? What you understand? So they are avoiding that whole mix-up whereby we know people, when they are drunk, their emotions are high. So telling them not to enter with guns is a way of preventing a disaster just waiting to happen. And then it continues to say an argument started, which escalated into lethal gunfire between Mabonga's bodyguards and the venue's security personnel. According to the information obtained, 2 of the bodyguards were later declared dead on the scene. So we have a businessman who tried to enter into the restaurant armed. He was denied that whole entry, and there was a situation. They fought, probably because he has money. Basically, he's a businessman, and we know that rich people in most cases feel like a lot of rules kind of do not apply to them, you understand? So they say he brought his security personnel. Basically, he had his bodyguards, and among those bodyguards, let me see, 2 of the bodyguards were later declared dead, and him also. So meaning that he started gunfire. Probably there was an argument because he was not happy, wara, and then it escalated to shooting because he wanted to enter and they were denying him entrance. So they say a community policing forum member, 2 patrons, and a security guard were wounded and taken to hospital, but Mabonga, who is the community policing forum member, was declared dead on arrival. Now it is said that he was trying to enter by force, and according to a police report, 2 Sandton commercial crime unit officers went to the restaurant after they received the complaint that someone was trying to enter by force. Basically, they reported to the police and say we are facing such and such a situation. So in the report, police alleged that officers spoke to the restaurant manager, who pointed out to Mabonga standing at the door. So they called the police, and then when the police came, they just explained the situation, and then they showed him, like, there is the person that we are talking about. He's trying to enter by force. So following a brief discussion between Mabonga and the officers, Mabonga complied with with the request to, disarm, basically, hand over his firearm to, one of his 8 bodyguards. So he brought 8 bodyguards. So he, when the police came and then there was that situation, they spoke, he had, and then he agreed to take the gun and give it to one of his 8 bodyguards. So he travels heavy, basically. So the police officer who responded in the incident went to Mabonga's car to verify his firearm license. So you understand, it's standard procedure. He was carrying a firearm in public, so the police were basically trying to see if that firearm is legal or not. So they went to the car to verify. They say a security guard from the restaurant came out and Mabonga started to shout and swear at him. He was trying to run towards the security guard, and his bodyguards were trying to stop him. So maybe he still had a grudge that, they denied him access and all of that. So when the security guard came out, he approached the, security guard, obviously trying to start something. Maybe, I'm not sure, I was not there. So they probably was trying to start something. And then, the bodyguards were trying to control the situation, because as, security, we have to try by all means to protect the asset, if I may put it that way. So all of the sudden, there was a lot of gunfire. The police report read. The officers took cover behind their cars, according to the report. So the shootout basically started while the police were on the scene. Apparently it seems like all these people who were involved, basically the ones who were shooting, are not afraid of the police, which is a very alarming situation, that a shootout like this that also turns deadly occurred in front of the police. In most cases, we know that when the police is there, a lot of people might try and behave because we respect the police and we know they have authority and everything. But if a situation like this that cost people lives transpired in front of the police, it raises red flags. But also it was in sentence, so probably it's rich people mostly there, so they have all the power. People who have power are above the law in most cases. So this is basically the situation. Imagine police coming to control your situation, and on top of that, you shoot people. The guns go blazing while the police are still there. Oh, this seemed like a very big movie. Once the gunfire stopped, police officers went to attend to the injured. They say that they noticed that 4 people had been shot and were lying on the ground. And then it continues to read that we went to secure the people who had been shot. We called for backup and for paramedics. One of the bodyguards came back with his hands up. The bodyguard of the businessman came out with his hands up. We were shouting at him to get on the ground. He went to his car. So the police told him to get on the ground. He went to his car, which was parked at the entrance of the restaurant, and got something out of his car. Now we already have 4 people who have been shot, and the police are attending to those people, and they're trying to control the situation, trying to get the medical assistance quickly. And the bodyguard comes out with his hands up. They tell him get on the ground. Instead, he goes to the car, grabs something. This is interesting. He grabbed something from the car, and then entered the restaurant. Now bear in mind that the police are there, they are giving instructions, but nobody's taking the police serious. I don't know how it reached that state that the police is not taken serious in this country. Somehow we don't know, but deep down we know. And then it says that there was more gunfire inside the restaurant. Now we already have 4 people who have been shot. The security guard grabs a gun, gets inside, more gunfire. Once the additional shooting stopped, the officers found Mabonga's bodyguard dead inside the restaurant. We went to attend to other people who had been shot. Mabonga had been shot and was in a bad condition. He was taken to Morningside Clinic where he too was declared, dead. The report revealed that two other people were shot. Two other people who were shot were innocent patrons of the restaurant, and they were transported to hospital with an ambulance. Yeah, and then it says a CPF member who was on duty and came to assist at the scene was caught in the crossfire of the second shootout inside the restaurant. He was standing outside the restaurant and was shot in his leg and abdomen and was transported to hospital by ambulance. Now, I just feel like in a lot of situations, a lot of things can be avoided, because I don't believe that being told to enter into a restaurant without firearm can lead to such a tragic incident that also not only did not hurt innocent people but also cost three people their lives over just a simple request. I believe that there were better ways that this whole situation could have been handled, especially considering the fact that it was a public area where there were innocent people. Now we have innocent people who have been shot, who were just innocently in a restaurant, and then they got shot because somebody's pride didn't allow him to, be disarmed. So this is a very bad situation that we are experiencing right now as a country. We have people who believe that rules and laws do not apply to them, but also we have people who do not respect the police. But we have reasons, we have seen situations that make people not to respect the police. Not saying that it's right, it's very wrong, because at the end of the day they are the ones that we gotta rely on. So a lot of people do not take the police seriously, but that's because of things that have been transpiring. But what I'm just not happy about is the situation of shooting people who were just attending the restaurant incident, basic easily. So apparently this was not his first shootout. He had been involved in an incident before, and they just basically say that he is about that life and he lives by the gun, but unfortunately he also died by the gun. So that's the situation that happened last night. I thought it was a very interesting situation that we should just touch on to kind of talk about how South Africa is a movie on its own. There is a lot that is happening right now. So that's the situation. If you have not subscribed, just subscribe to this YouTube channel, and see you guys next time. Also, let me know in your comment section, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? Was it really necessary for it to have ended the way it ended? I mean, everybody could have been saved at the end of the day. We wouldn't be in this situation whereby three people have lost their lives, because those bodyguards also, they had families, and it was not their fights basically, but just because they are bodyguards, and then they are paid to protect the person, they also get affected by the bad decisions that that person ends up making. What I've taken away from this whole incident is that nobody is actually untouchable. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be reading them. And if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe. Till next time, peace.